Hey everybody, welcome back to 360 Comics. Joe here, and this past weekend I got to attend the final day of Baltimore Comic Con. I went down there on a budget and picked up some great books for real cheap. I'm going to show you my haul today. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment below. You can also follow over on Instagram and keep an eye out for giveaways. We do them pretty often. And stick around to the end of the video. I've got a very special announcement that I'm excited to make. If you had asked me a couple months ago if I was going to Baltimore Comic Con, I would have hands down said yes, but as it got closer and closer, it seemed less and less likely due to my schedule, work, money, all that kind of stuff. It just kind of fell by the wayside and became something that I had totally given up on until Saturday that weekend. The second day of the con, actually, I got a call from my buddy Alex. Luck came through, and he gave me a call and said, we need some help packing up. We've got an extra lanyard for vendors. If you want to come down, I'll give you a ride, and I'll give you a ride back. Just give us a hand with the pack up and everything. And I said, oh yeah, that sounds great. So, really was a pretty free trip for me. I treated Alex to a nice little dinner afterwards, and I had a great time, got to see some friends, meet some people that I've never met before from this community, hold some crazy books, and of course, buy a couple things for myself. So first thing I did when I got there is I took a snake-shaped cruise through all of the vendors, and I kind of made a mental note of where I wanted to go, where I wanted to stop, where the good deals might be, maybe, some dollar bins I wanted to check out, some slabs that seemed a little bit underpriced maybe. And I like I said, I was on a budget. So I really wasn't looking to pick up any big ticket items, but I always try to get at least one, semi-larger item, not necessarily like a $500 book or anything like that, but something for my personal collection that I really, really want, kind of in the range of, at least a couple $100. So I stopped at 7 different dealers. Sorry, I stopped at a bunch more than that, but I purchased from 7 different dealers at the event, and I'm going to show you guys what I got, and it's all separated into those dealers. If I remember their name, I'll say it, but I definitely did not remember all of them. I should take better notes next time. But check it out. My first purchase of the day was from a dealer who had a bunch of slabs up on the wall that looked a little pricey, but I did notice some lower value bins. He had a couple boxes that were marked at $2, a couple boxes that were marked at $5 and $10. I love those boxes because it's really easy to grab a bunch of things from them and then kind of bundle them together for a deal. I talk about this all the time, especially when going to conventions. Those dealers there, they want to make a sale, and they're willing to knock some dollars off if you buy multiple books. So that's what I did here. In the $5 bin, I found this Umbrella Academy Dallas #1. This is part of the second Umbrella Academy run. The first one and the second one, both, I believe, are both 6 issues. I know this one is. And this is the first book, cover A, God Save the President on the front. And coincidentally, I have books number 4, 5, and 6 that I found in a dollar bin. So finding this issue really makes me want to find number 2 and 3 as well, so I can complete the little 6-issue miniseries from Umbrella Academy. I'm a big fan of the show, and a really big fan of My Chemical Romance, whose singer is the writer for this book, Gerard Way. So I was really happy to find that. In the $5 bin as well, we've got Hulk 224, and this is the reappearance, not the first appearance of the Gray Hulk, but the reappearance of the Gray Hulk in the Incredible Hulk run. And it's an homage cover to Hulk #1, which obviously is the first appearance of that Gray Hulk before they decided to make him green in issue 2. Great homage cover, and something that every Hulk collector really wants is that Hulk #1. But this is a good little substitute for that for now while I can't afford it. Moving on to those $2 bins was this guy right here, Lazarus #1. This is an Image Comics Image Comics, indie book. I really enjoy it. I've read the trade paperback, but I never owned a single one of the copies of the actual comic book. I know that they were optioned at one point a couple years ago. I don't know if there's been any news on that recently, but this is a pretty popular book nonetheless, and finding it in the $2 bin was awesome. I think these sell for between $10 and $15, and I had been looking for them for a while, really trying to find these in dollar bins or, for cheap anywhere, and this was a great place to pick it up. It's only got 2 little spine ticks, so I'm really happy with the grade. And for $2, you can't go wrong. Along with that, in the $2 bin, you guys know how much I love this. I did this book for a giveaway, and it's also in my favorite covers video, which if you haven't checked out, I'll put the link in the description below. You can check it out. It is X-Men 251 with Wolverine crucified on an X. Such a classic cover by Mark Silvestri. Almost forgot that there for a second. And I have this book in a 9.8, but for $2, I picked this up. And this one I'll probably resell at some point, have in one of my claim sales, or sell it elsewhere. But it's a nice copy. Got a couple spine ticks, but pretty nice overall. And the last book from this dealer that I got was this X-Force number 2. Now, this is the second appearance of Deadpool, and with the price of New Mutants 98 going as high as it is, with the popularity of Deadpool from the Ryan Reynolds movies, this book has become kind of like a gateway, a secondary option to get an early Deadpool appearance, along with X-Force 4, which is his third appearance, which you'll see later in this video, for $2. Couldn't really go wrong here. Depending on condition, this sells for between like $5 and $12. And with, Deadpool 3 eventually coming, I believe, I could see this going up again. People really try to pick up those second appearances when the first appearances become a little bit too much money. Anyway, so we got 2 books from the $5 bin and 3 from the $2 bin. That comes to $16, but I think I offered 12, and he asked for 13, so I throw him the extra buck there and gave him $13 for these 5 comics. I think it was a great buy, and we're on to the next dealer now. So at my second stop for the day, I was going through a bin of price books, and I found this one, and it was unpriced. It is a low-grade copy of Amazing Spider-Man 149, the first appearance of Peter Parker's clone, Ben Reilly, who made an awesome return in the 90s. I know some people don't like it, but I do. Anyway, he's also currently the Spider-Man in the Spider-Man run from Marvel, and I'm stoked about that because I really like the character. And I picked up a really nice copy of this a couple months ago for, I think, like $40 or something. I forget exactly. I think it was at King Con. But this is a lower grade copy. I asked how much it was, and I got it for $4, which seems really low, even for a low grade copy. It's a pretty, significant key from this, Bronze Age, early Bronze Age. Yeah, we got a 25-cent book here. I had to pick it up for $4. Couldn't pass that one up. But this dealer also had a bunch of 50-cent bins, and I went through those, and like I mentioned before, the third appearance of Deadpool, you'd be seeing that later. Not 1, not 2, but 3 really nice-looking copies of that book. Like I said, people pick up the second and third appearances as the first appearance becomes more expensive. So those are great pickups for 50 cents a piece. And we got The Further Adventures of Indiana Jones #1. Just a nice #1 to pick up. A lot of movie-related books have been going up in price, especially with, how popular Star Wars is getting, given the Mandalorian is really reinvigorating people. And I can see that trickling off into, similar things like Indiana Jones, which has a big tie to Star Wars from, the director and actor standpoint. One of my favorites as well in the 50-cent bin, a Sleepwalker #25. I already have this, but this is a really beautiful copy. It's got this foil cover, very classic 90s. one of my favorite runs of all time, Witches. This is number 2 in that run, and I will always buy this book for $1, and any book in this run. It's only 6 issues. It's a great miniseries to have, and like I said, my favorite horror and favorite indie run of all time. And yes, that includes Ninja Turtles. They're number 2 on my indie list. We got X-Men 159 here, part of the early Claremont run from the kind of middle of the Bronze Age. Not necessarily a key or anything, but for 50 cents, I'm not going to pass up any X-Men stuff from this time period. And same goes for this Wolverine origin book. This is number 4 of 4, I believe. Or sorry, Roman numerals. 6 of 6. Part 6 of 6. And for 50 cents, why not? Really you want to get the whole group together. I don't really often see them selling as individual copies unless they're graded or signed, but, pick it up and try to complete the set at some point. And going along, I picked up some kind of late silver / Bronze Age Disney books as well. And I guess this would be Warner Brothers Yosemite Sam here with Bugs Bunny on the front. Just cheap 50-cent pickups. And one more thing from this dealer, I got a $20 slab. This one was a present for my wife. We've got Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures? The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, number 2. She's a huge fan of the television show. They had this for $25. I offered the guy a $20 bill, and he took it. Great cheap slab to have. It's actually my wife's first one, and she was very excited to get it. My third stop of the day ended up being the most expensive with the one big personal collection book that I purchased. We've got Tomb of Dracula number 1 in a CGC 5.5 off-white to white pages. I thought that they had this a little bit undervalued I think they had it listed at $280. And what I did to just get a little bit more value out of it, I bundled things together. In order to make one big purchase, I spent $300, and I got this along with Daredevil number 12, a really clean copy of that. Daredevil number 29 as well, with a great cover on it. A mid-grade copy of Avengers 257. Now, this is the first appearance of Nebula, a book that has been getting hotter and hotter, especially now that we know that Nebula and Gamora seem to be kind of the main focus of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And this is one that I actually have a copy of already, a really nice one that I think might get a 9.8 or at least a 9.6. So this one I'm definitely going to let go of at some point. We'll see. I might wait till the movie. I might not. It's going to be a while, so I might just let this one go a little bit earlier. And then Batman number 409, and this is a origin story of Jason Todd. I've featured this book in an affordable Batman Key video, and I really love the yellow cover. And Jason Todd, one of my favorite characters in Batman, so was an easy pickup as far as bundling these books together. And I think it did pretty well, paying $300 for the lot. I did the same sort of strategy at the next dealer, but to a smaller extent, not as high value. But I did pick one higher value book, Spawn number 9, the first appearance of Angela, a character that I've mentioned that I'm speculating on for the MCU. And, just overall a great Spawn book to have, really, other than number 1. This is kind of the second best one in the early part of the Spawn run. So, like I said, they had it listed at $17, not a whole lot, but I ended up bundling a couple books together and getting them all for $25. I got this Nova number 1 from the 90s, the second Nova or the third? I can't remember. This is the first appearance of the second or third Nova. And I know some people are speculating on this book, but it was cheap, so I threw it in. Figured might as well have a copy. And then this is the second printing of Thor number 6. What is that? First Black Winter. And then we've got a classic X-Men cover, number 30 from that 90s run of X-Men, with the wedding of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. Really, really classic cover. And, X-Men are my favorite, so I had to pick that one up. And a book that I just keep finding, I keep getting it on the cheap, and it's a good book to have. It's Detective Comics 608, one of my favorite covers of all time, as well as the first appearance of Anarchy. Like I said, all of these books bundled together with the Spawn number 9 only cost me $25. Definitely think that was a great deal. My next stop of the day was actually recommended to me by a member of the community, my good friend Michelle from Moonlit Comics. And if you're not following her on Instagram, you definitely should be. She posts awesome content and gives a lot of the historical background about the books that she posts. Definitely check her out. Anyway, this is her LCS. They're called To Be Continued, and they're located in Maryland. If you're in the area, definitely check them out. My favorite thing about them is they had a bunch of low grade but very, very affordable Silver Age books, and I grabbed a ton of them. In fact, I think there's 22 or 23 books here. I got them, piled them up, and said, hey, will you take $100 for this? The guy said, yeah, no problem. So I got a great deal on some low grade Silver Age stuff, some keys, some filler issues. Definitely check this out. We've got Submariner, number 12, the origin story of the Serpent Crown. And if you guys watch the channel, you know I'm big on this character as far as, an impending MCU appearance that's definitely going to happen at some point. Might happen really soon. We don't know. We'll have to see. But a great book either way to be picking up. Some early Submariner, Silver Age, minor key issue. I've also got this Daredevil book, and I'm working on my Daredevil run a lot right now. I really enjoy the character, and I'm trying to get a lot of the older Silver Age books. This one is number 48, and the minor key significance of this issue is that it's a little bit controversial and had some issues at the time because the sign in the background right down there says ass pain. I'm not sure why it says that. I'm not sure why the editor, whoever looks things over missed it or didn't care, but that was put in there. I don't know if it was a joke or a mistake or something, but that's the minor key significance of this issue. Very, very minor at that. This next one, number 56, this is the first appearance of Death's Head, and we got a great cover appearance here as well. Next up is number 57, and in this issue, Daredevil reveals his identity to Karen Page. That's a pretty significant reveal as far as this era, this late Silver Age era goes. And then we've got 79, the last Daredevil key issue that I got from this dealer. And this one is a key because Stan Lee and his wife actually appear in one of the panels in this book. In addition to these keys, I also got Daredevil 32, Daredevil 34, Daredevil 36, Daredevil 40, Daredevil 76, and that's it for the Daredevils. So some great filler issues. Like I said, I'm working on this run, so these were awesome to find for real cheap, and I'm happy I got them. Even in the low grade, I don't care too much. I'm going to move on now to this last section of books from the same dealer, and all of these are Green Lantern books. Not a character that I particularly collect, but they are, the various Green Lanterns are very popular characters, and I've had a lot of people ask me recently in claim sales to bring some Silver Age books to the table. So I grabbed a bunch of these, and some I'll be keeping, some I'll be letting go of. This one was a really nice find for cheap. This is Green Lantern 29. This is the first appearance of Black Hand, and I was very surprised to see this as cheap as it is. It is low grade, but Black Hand plays a pretty significant part in the Green Lantern history. Next up, we've got number 30, And I believe this is the first appearance of... Oh, man, I can't remember. Is this Katma Tui? Like one of the... I forget. I think it's that, but I forget the key significance of this book. If you remember, you can leave it in the chat below. This next one, number 35, is the first appearance of Aerialist. Pretty minor key. But then we've got number 38, the first appearance of, who is this, Goldface or something like that? Another minor one. This next one, number 39, is the the second appearance of Black Hand. That's a little bit more significant there. And then we've got number 55. This is the first appearance of a couple of different Green Lanterns, members of the Green Lantern Corps, minor ones, but I think there's 2 or 3 that have their first appearance in this book. And going along with these, minor to mid-level keys were also some filler issues all the way back to number 17. I was surprised to see that low of a number in there for so cheap. Also number 31, number 36, 46, another copy of 46. I think Hal Jordan goes to jail in this one, if I remember correctly. I think I saw it labeled as that one time. Might be wrong, though. And number 49 with this awesome cover. Definitely like that one a lot. The Dazzler. Not the X-Men, but another one. Anyway, this was a great buy, in my opinion, as far as, some great Silver Age books for real cheap. Like I said, some are for my personal collection, and some you'll see for in my next claim sale or, up for grabs somewhere. At this point in the show, we were getting to the end of the day, probably about an hour left or so. Some vendors had already started packing up, trying to beat the rush out of there, especially because there was a Ravens game in town in Baltimore that day, so the traffic was especially crazy. But this vendor had some great low-grade Silver Age stuff, more of that. There were $3 bins with Silver Age books in them. And not only that, but there was a deal that it was buy 5 for $10. So you get them for $2 a book if you did that. And I didn't buy 5 or 10 or 15. I ended up buying like 28 or 29 books from this guy. And I got them all for $50. So, in addition to that $2 a book deal that he was offering, I ended up knocking a couple extra bucks off the top and really getting a great deal. Less than $2 a book for some Silver Age stuff. Made me really happy. There's a couple keys in here, but nothing super big. But we've got World's Finest, number 115, and this is a 10-cent book. Not a lot of times you can find a 10-cent book of anything really that you can buy for under $2. But we got World's Finest number 110. To go along with that, we've got Action Comics 231. I believe this is a minor key. Action Comics 300. Wait, did I say? Sorry, 321. I think I said 231. I mixed up the numbers there. 321. 322. I believe this is just, mostly filler from here on out. 337. Low grade, of course, but for $2, can't beat that. 338. 342. 345. 358. And 359. 363. 364, 366, 383, lots of Action Comics here, and 388. Oh, and 397. That's all the action that I got. Again, mostly filler issues there, but for the price, couldn't pass it up. This is great stuff to have for a Silver Age bin at a sale. And then there were some adventure comics as well. This one is 338, a minor key, I believe. $3.49, this is the first appearance of Universo, who I don't know that character, but the internet said that was pretty good. $3.75. Another minor key. I forget the significance though. And then as far as filler issues, there were a bunch of those as well. $3.54 for Adventure Comics. $3.62. $3.66. Sorry about that glare, guys. $3.67, and there were 2 copies of $3.67. Pretty cool cover. And then I've got some other books that came in this group. We've got Anthro number 5, and I recently picked up, if you remember, the first appearance of Anthro, as well as Anthro number 1. Well, I also found number 2 in a dollar bin a while ago. Here's a number 5. I might as well try to complete this run because it is very short, very cheap, affordable, especially if you're getting low-grade copies like this for under $2 a piece. Also, Tales to Astonish 96. Not a key, but a cool old team up between Submariner and Hulk. Strange Tales 139. Again, not a key, but it's got some pretty cool characters, including, I believe, High Evolutionary in this book. Teen Titans 33, a run that I am working on, that Silver Age Teen Titans run. And this one I picked out strictly due to the cover and the time of the year. This is Ghost Stories. I looked it up, and I forget what number, 13, I think. But this really cool green cover from Dell Comics, and this is it got a mummy on it and this ghost over here. Thought it was great. Needed some extra books to throw in, and for Silver Age horror, why not? It's that time of the year. Everyone's all about the horror books, so I picked that one up. Really cool stuff from this dealer. And then I had one more purchase right at the end of the day. I am having some major glare issues with this book, so I'm going to hold it over here. This is Daredevil number 60, and the reason I picked this up, 2 reasons really. One, it is an old Daredevil book from the early 70s. Yeah, actually the very early 70s, January of 1970. So depending on who you ask, some people will consider that early bronze. I call that late Silver Age. But Daredevil number 60, and it's a 9.0 white pages. So this book is, 51, almost 52 years old, and high grade, 9.0 white pages. And the price tag was really nice. I got this for $60. Really cheap slab. Not a real, key issue or anything, but the story is by Roy Thomas, a pretty popular writer, and the cover art is by Sid Shores, who did a ton of horror stuff in the golden and early Silver Age that I really like. So I picked this one up. Like I said, I'm picking up Daredevil right now like crazy, and this was definitely a good, cheap slab to grab. Before I get to my big announcement, I just want to thank you guys for sticking around through this whole video. I know it was a long one. This was a 99 book haul that I got from Baltimore Comic Con. I didn't show everything, but I showed almost everything. There were a couple books that were just late Bronze Age and Copper Age filler issues for my personal collection that I didn't show here, but the vast majority of it was in this video. These were my 2 favorites. We got a Ben Reilly Spider-Man first appearance. Love the Clone Saga, and definitely excited to get it for as cheap as I did. Plus this Tomb of Dracula number 1, some Bronze Age horror. First appearance of Dracula in Marvel Comics. Stoked to have this in my personal collection finally, and really stoked to make this announcement here today. I have a booth for Super Jersey Comic Expo, which is in Holmdel, New Jersey on November 6th. That's Saturday. It's a 1-day show. I know it's kind of last minute. It's a week and a half away. We just got a call. A buddy of mine, Alex from Toy and Comic Heaven, got a call from a friend who can't make it but bought a booth. He ended up selling it to us, so we're going to be splitting it. So if you know me or you know Alex, please stop by, say hi. I'm going to have a ton of stuff for sale as well as him. And we're going to have some dollar boxes, some $3 boxes, $5 boxes, some higher end stuff, some slabs on the wall, all that stuff. So please stop by and say hi if you're in the area. And if you're not, that's okay too. I'd love to hear what you think about this haul in the comments below. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. Thumbs up for the like, ring the bell for notifications, and leave that comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in the future. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.